The scent of something rich and savory filled the kitchen, clinging in the air like a warm embrace. Bakugou stood at the stove, sleeves rolled up, exposing his forearms. He focused intently on the sizzling pan before him. His sharp crimson eyes flickered between ingredients, calculating the exact moment to add the next one. A slight crease formed in between his brows, a telltale sign of his usual intensity when cooking. It was a sight that Ryan could never get tired of. Watching Bakugou in his element, concentration and precise. It was one of life's little pleasures. He didn't just cook, he commanded the kitchen, moving like a professional chef despite the casual setting. Ryan smirked, a devious little idea forming in their mind. They patted quietly against the wooden floor, their socked feet making no sound as they approached Bakugou from behind. He was so focused on his task they didn't even notice them. Big mistake. Grinning, Ryan slipped their arms around his waist, pressing their chest flush to his back. Their fingers lightly traced the ridges of his toned stomach through his fitted blank tank top. "Miss me?" they murmured, against the shell of his ear, their voice low and playful. Bakugou stiffened immediately, the spatula in his hand tightening as he nearly dropped it into the pan. "The hell?" His body tensed, and for a split second, Ryan thought he might shove them off. But instead, he let out an exasperated breath, tilting his head slightly as if asking to shake off the teasing. "What do you think you're doing, dumbass?" he muttered, though his voice lacked the usual bite it had. Ryan grinned, resting their chin on his shoulder. "Just wanted to say hi," they cooed sweetly. "Bullshit," Bakugou spoke. Ryan chuckled, dragging their fingers along his abdomen in slow, feather-like strokes. "You caught me," they admitted, pressing a kiss just below his ear. "I came to distract you." Bakugou's muscles twitched beneath their touch, his grip on the spatula visibly tightening. "Ryan," he warned, his voice lower now, almost strange. "Yes, Katsuki?" Ryan practically purred. His breath hitched just barely. Ryan caught it though, their grin widening. Bakugou exhaled sharply through his nose, trying and failing to maintain his composure. "I'm cooking. Dumbass, you're gonna make me burn the damn food." Ryan huffed, feigning innocence. "Oh, but you're always so good at multitasking, I figured you could handle a little challenge." They let their hands wander a little bit lower, fingers dancing along the waistband of his sweats. Bakugou's entire body went rigid, his jaw clenched and his grip on the spatula wavered. A low growl rumbled in his throat. "You little..." Before Ryan could even react, Bakugou spun around in one swift motion, chopping them against the counter. In a blink of an eye, one of his strong arms braced against the countertop beside them, caging them in effortlessly. His crimson eyes gleamed for something dangerous, half irritation, half something else. Something that sent a shiver down Ryan's spine. Their heartbeat quickened. "Oh?" They tilted their head, feigning surprise. "Did I strike a nerve?" Bakugou scoffed, smirking now, but it wasn't his usual sharp, cocky grin. No, this was something slower, more deliberate, more dangerous. His free hand gripped their waist firmly, pulling them just enough so they could feel the heat radiating off his body. "You really think you can just mess with me while I'm busy and get away with it?" He spoke. His voice was low and raspy, and laced with some unspoken promise. Ryan swallowed. "Maybe?" "Maybe," he repeated, rolling the word over his tongue like he was savoring it. His grip on their waist tightened slightly, fingertips digging into just enough to make them shiver. For a moment neither of them moved, the air between them crackled with tension, heavy and electric. Then suddenly, "Shit!" Bakugou whipped his head back around towards the stove. The pan was smoking slightly, the sauce bubbling a bit too aggressively. He instantly released Ryan, grabbing the spatula and flipping whatever was in the pan with practice ease. YN burst into laughter. See? You got distracted, they teased, leaning against the counter with a smug grin. Bakugou shot them a sharp glare over his shoulder, scowling. It's your damn fault. YN shrugged. I regret nothing. He clicked his tongue, turning over back to the stove as he muttered something under his breath. Annoying little shit. YN smiled more, stepping up behind him, though this time they kept their hands to themselves. You love me, they sing-songed. Bakugou didn't respond immediately, his attention salvaging the meal. Then, a voice just low enough that they could barely hear it spoke. Yeah, whatever. YN beamed. They waited until he was fully engrossed in cooking one more time before leaning in and pressing a soft kiss to the side of his neck. Bakugou sucked in a sharp breath, nearly dropping the spatula again. You are so dead after dinner. YN laughed, slipping away before he could grab them. They couldn't wait. Dinner was tense. Not in an uncomfortable way. No, far, far from it. The tension had been thick, simmering beneath Bakugou and YN like a slow burn, coiling tighter with every passing second. They knew they'd pushed him earlier, teased him, tempted him, and now they were dealing with the consequences. Bakugou had been eerily quiet throughout the meal, which really wasn't like him. Normally he'd be grumbling and complaining and groaning about how people didn't appreciate his cooking enough, bragging about how perfect his seasoning was, maybe throwing a snarky remark about YN being an annoying little shit. But tonight, not a word. He ate in silence, his crimson eyes flickered to YN every so often, filled with something unreadable. YN, of course, had done their best to act natural, keeping their expression neutral. They chewed their food slowly as if they weren't entirely aware of the way Bakugou's stare was burning into them. But the truth, they were very aware. Their skin tingled under his gaze, heart hammering in their chest, because Bakugou was planning something. They had no idea what it was. But the second the dishes were cleaned and the leftovers were packed away, YN made a move to slip out of the kitchen, planning on escaping Bakugou before he could act on whatever wicked little thoughts he stirred in his head. Big mistake. Because the moment they took a step, Bakugou was behind them, fast and silent. A hand wrapped around their wrist before they could even blink, tugging them back to where they could escape. Where the hell do you think you're going? His voice was low and steady, but there was an edge to it. A warning. YN gulped. To the couch? Bakugou clicked his tongue. Nah. He turned them around with ease, backing them up until their hips bumped against the counter. Not done with you yet. YN swallowed hard. Oh? They tilted their head, feigning nonchalance, despite the way their pulse had quickened. And what exactly do you need me for, Katsuki? The corner of his lips twitched, a smirk, a challenge. You think you're real cute, don't you? YN grinned. I know I am, they beamed. Bakugou chuckled, dark and amused. You're a real pain in my ass, you know that. He placed his hands on either side of them, caging them in like he had earlier, but this time there was nowhere to run. The heat on his body was intoxicating, surrounding YN entirely. Distracting me while I'm cooking. His words were quiet now, but sharp, each word deliberate, touching me like that. YN blinked up at him, trying to look as innocent as possible. I don't know what you mean. Bakugou scoffed. Bullshit. One of his hands left the counter, trailing slowly down the side as his fingers brushed against their waist. The touch was light, barely there, but it sent a shiver down YN's spine. You were real confident earlier, huh? He mused, tilting his head. What happened? Where's all that energy? YN bit their lips, pressing smirk. Still here. Yeah? He asked, his fingers tightly gripping their waist. Then prove it. YN arched a brow. Prove it? Bakugo's smirk widened. Yeah. His thumb rubbed low, lazy circles against their hip. You started this, so finish it. Oh. Ryan's breath hitched, their fingers gripping the edge of the counter behind them. This wasn't just teasing anymore. Bakugou was challenging them, testing them. Their heart pounded, their mind racing. Two could play that game. Slowly, Ryan lifted a hand, pressing the palm flat against his chest. The warmth of his skin burned through the fabric of his shirt. His heart beat steady and strong beneath their touch. They trailed their fingers upwards, sliding over his collarbone, up his neck, stopping just below his jaw. Bakugou's breath stuttered. It was faint, almost irreciprocal, but Ryan caught it. Victory. They grinned. You sure you can handle all that, Katsuki? His jaw clenched and his eyes darkened. Then he moved, fast. Before Ryan could even react, Bakugou had lifted them by the waist, lifted them onto the counter in one swift motion. Their breath hitched as they found themselves perched on the cool surface. Bakugou was standing between their legs, his hands firm on their hips. He was close. Too close. His breath was warm against their cheek, his grip possessive and unwavering. Wayne swallowed hard. The air was thick, charged with something heavy, something impossible to ignore. Bakugou leaned in slightly, his voice a low murmur. You sure you can handle this? Wayne's fingers curled into his shirt, gripping the fabric as they exited shakily. Try me. Bakugou chuckled. And then the sound of the door slamming open echoed through the apartment. Both of them froze, and a familiar voice rang out from the hallway. Oi, Blasty, I know you're up here. Open up. Bakugou growled under his breath, his entire body stiffening. Fucking dunce face. Wayne snorted, still slightly breathless. Great timing, huh? Bakugou let out a string of curses, pulling away just enough to shoot a glare at the door. He better have a damn good reason for being here. Wayne smirked, tilting their head. Maybe the universe is just punishing you for threatening me. Bakugou shot them a look. The universe ain't shit. The knocking grew louder. Bakugou, I swear to God, if you don't open this door. Bakugou sighed, rubbing a hand on his face. I'm gonna kill him. Wayne chuckled, hopping off the counter. Come on, let's see what he wants. Bakugou grumbled under his breath, but followed. As soon as he yanked the door open, Kaminari stood there, grinning sheepishly. Yo, I was in the neighborhood and I figured I'd stop by. Bakugou didn't even let him get a word in. The door slammed shut. Ryan burst into laughter. You're so mean.